But first, you would have heard successful businesses boast about the fact they were able to do more with less. Well, you'd never accuse the ABC of being a successful business, and they've reversed that adage in their annual report, boasting they've done less than they've ever done before with more of your money than they've ever had before. Despite receiving funding of $1.1 billion last financial year, the ABC's total audience dropped by 670,000 people a week on average. But it's even worse than that. According to their annual report, they still, despite receiving $1.1 billion of your money, have budget challenges. It goes on to say the ABC operated within its total sources of funds and revenue from government for the 2023-24 financial year, recording, get this, a minor technical operating deficit of $2.2 million.
So minor.
It's the most money they've ever had, but the audience is declining and they're losing money. And to add salt to the wound, outgoing managing director David Anderson was paid $1 million to oversee this abject failure, Caleb.
Isn't it great? The rest of us in commercial media are having to cut costs and, as you say, do more with less because, of course, we want to remain on air and we want to keep bringing you news and whatever, but that's the market that we operate in, not the ABC. They get the money that the government compulsorily takes from you and then do absolutely nothing with it. I mean, you would think that the ABC could just stop for a minute and go, OK, look, if we're having this major arrest in audiences, there must be something wrong with the content, right? That's what people come to the ABC for. They want to watch things, they want to listen to things. Clearly, they don't want to watch or listen what the ABC is putting out. And no wonder when you look at some of the stuff that they put out. I mean, they're spending money on people putting content on social media about furries, and they've got a special social media page for LGBTIQ issues, like stuff that is just not mainstream. As I've said so many times before, and I'll say it again at the risk of repeating myself, the ABC does its best work in the regions and rural parts of Australia, and that's what it ought to be focused on. There is an argument that the ABC doesn't necessarily have to be worried about how many people are consuming its media, as long as that media is of great quality and of great importance to people who can't get commercial media. Instead, what they are trying to do, and they've done in recent years, is centralise lots of stuff in the big cities, particularly Sydney, and provide content to people who have access to a vast array of commercial media, which is why they're not consuming it, because they can get it somewhere else. Give content to people who can't get it anywhere else. That's what the ABC is for. I just feel like we bash our heads up against a brick wall every time this comes up. It never changes, and it will never change until someone has the guts to actually, a minister, a communications minister, and we haven't seen anyone, Labor or Liberal, have the guts to say we need to seriously reform what the ABC is. They need to be an ABC for the modern age, but that doesn't mean going on TikTok, which increasingly seems to be what they do.
And you'd think these people would have KPIs. We, the taxpayer, fund them. What other business do you know that can return less than 10% of their operating costs in terms of revenue, less than 10%, and get budgeted more money for next year? You heard me right. So they've never had more money than they do now. Things are going very poorly. So what does our government do? Up their budget. Next year, they've got 1.196 instead of 1.137 billion to play with. This is not a problem that throwing money at it will make it disappear. And what a year it's been for the ABC. Remember in June they had their bullying and sexual harassment survey, which found 25% of their employees were like, I've been bullied. 13% of them said that they'd experienced sexual harassment. Then in October they had their survey regarding racism. Only one CALD employee, cultural and lingually diversified employees, only one of them said, I haven't experienced racism here at the ABC. And now we get to have a look at their numbers, and it's an absolute abomination. And like you say, Caleb, is anyone at the ABC going, maybe it's our content, because that's the only way you get views on TV. That's the only way you get people tuning into your radio stations. That's the only way you get readers online clicking on your content. Until they address that issue, this is just going to continue to slide. We've talked about the phenomena of podcasters and others. Again, that's available in the regions. People are going elsewhere for readily available content. ABC can't keep up with those kind of outputs anymore.
And of course, if you listen to those at the ABC, the issue is not content. It's funding. They just need more. How much money would it take to fix the ABC? The answer? Just a little bit more,
It's like the education union, right? They're like, the reason the education system is broken is because we don't have enough money. Well, we've been just throwing more and more money at it for 20 years, and the results get worse.
We've been disproving that theory for a very long time now.
It's like that Simpsons meme, and it's like, is it the kids that's the problem? No. Are we the problem? No, the kids are the problem. I mean, seriously, get your act in order.